MotoGP riders can sometimes make us raise our eyebrows when we see what they can get up to. From riders kicking other riders off their bikes to making political statements, which may not be their forte, MotoGP riders have done it all. Then there are the tragic moments we would rather not want to happen. The list is longer than we would have liked, but today we remember these men and women who passed away doing what they love. These are some of the MotoGP riders who paid the ultimate price competing. But before we get into the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on so you don't miss any of the new videos we post. Shoya Tomizawa, September 5th, 2010. Shoya Tomizawa was a Japanese motorcycle racer. After a successful career in the All Japan Road Race Championship, he switched to MotoGP and competed in the 250cc class during 2009. In the 2010 season, he rode in the newly created Moto2 class. Tomizawa won the first race of the new class at Losail in Qatar, winning by nearly 5 seconds from Alex Debon and Jules Cluzel. Tomizawa died after sustaining cranial, thoracic, and abdominal trauma at the San Marino Grand Prix. Tomizawa was competing in the 11th round of the inaugural Moto2 World Championship, the San Marino Grand Prix at the Misano World Circuit on the 5th of September 2010. On lap 12, holding 4th place, Tomizawa fell at the Curvone, a fast right-hand corner, when he was forced wide and lost grip in his rear tire. He was then struck by the motorbikes of Scott Redding and Alex De Angelis and suffered cranial, thoracic, and abdominal trauma. He was initially taken to the circuit's medical center before being transferred to hospital in Rishon. He died from his injuries at 14:20 local time in hospital, aged 19. His death was announced at the end of the MotoGP race. The podium flags were lowered to half-mast and the podium was celebrated without champagne. Tomizawa was the first on-track fatality at Grand Prix level since his countryman Daijiro Kaito was killed in the senior class at Suzuka in 2003. Tomizawa had placed Kato's racing number 74 on his left shoulder as a tribute to him. Questions have been raised about the treatment of Tomizawa in the aftermath of the crash. Both he and Redding were hurriedly removed from the scene and bundled into stretchers. The stretcher carrying Tomizawa appeared to be dropped in the gravel trap before he was removed. MotoGP Dr. Claudio Macchia Godena explained that many times it is very important to quickly have support. In this situation, if you remove quickly, in my opinion, you have more possibility to help the patient, a statement which ignores the possibility of spinal injuries. It was reported that Rimini's state prosecutor, Paolo Giovanoli, would begin an inquest that might involve criminal proceedings against as yet unnamed individuals. This makes the whole event even more tragic. Marco Simoncelli, October 23, 2011. Marco Simoncelli, known as Sick, was an Italian professional motorcycle racer. He competed in the MotoGP World Championship for 10 years, from 2002 to 2011. He started in the 125cc class before moving up to the 250cc class in 2006. He won the 2008 250cc World Championship with Gilera. After 4 years in the intermediate class, he stepped up to the top MotoGP class in 2010, racing with the Honda Gresini team. Simoncelli died in an accident during the 2011 Malaysian Grand Prix at Sepang on the 23rd of October 2011 after being run over following his own fall on track. On the 23rd of October 2011, Simoncelli was involved in a collision with American rider Colin Edwards and fellow Italian Valentino Rossi during the Malaysian Grand Prix at the Sepang International Circuit. In 4th position during lap 2, Simoncelli's bike lost traction in turn 11 and it started to slide toward the gravel, but the tires regained traction and his bike suddenly veered across the track into the path of Edwards and Rossi, with Simoncelli hanging down on the right side. Simoncelli was struck in the lower body by Edwards and in the head by Rossi, who weren't able to stop their bikes from hitting him. Simoncelli lost his helmet and Edwards was catapulted from his bike. The race was immediately red flagged. Edwards suffered a dislocated shoulder. Simoncelli suffered much more severe injuries and was taken by ambulance to the circuit's medical center. At 16:56 local time, less than an hour after the accident, it was announced that he had died from his injuries. Later, at a press conference involving members of the MotoGP race direction, medical director Michele Macchia Godena said that Simoncelli had sustained a very serious trauma to the head, to neck, and to the chest, and was administered CPR for 45 minutes. His body was flown home to Italy, accompanied by his father Paolo, his fiancée Kate Freddy, and Valentino Rossi. The family were greeted by by Italian Olympic Committee President Giovanni Petrucci before the body was transported to a theater in Coriano Rimini, where it was placed in an open coffin. Fans and visitors were then allowed to pay their respects in a walkthrough memorial that included his 250cc World Championship winning Galera, plus his 2011 MotoGP Honda. An estimated 20,000 people attended his funeral at the Santa Maria Assunta Parish Church in Coriano on the 27th of October 2011, which was broadcast live on Italian television. Louis Salom, June 3, 2016. Louis James Salmon Horache was a Spanish Grand Prix motorcycle racer. Salom died after a practice accident at Circuit de Catalunya when making contact with his bike and the wall after a high-speed accident. Racing in the Moto2 class since 2014, he finished 41 races, with 3 podium appearances, including a second-place finish at the 2016 Qatar season opener. At the time of his death, Salom ranked 10th in the 2016 Moto2 Championship point standings. On the 3rd of June 2016, with 25 minutes to go during free practice 2 for the 2016 Catalan Moto2 Grand Prix, Salom crashed at Europcar Turn 13, resulting in the session being red flagged. The accident was not recorded by MotoGP cameras, but a security camera near Turn 13 managed to capture video of the accident. His bike hit the air fence and bounced upwards, while Salom, who had let go of his bike, slid underneath, resulting in him being directly in the crashing bike's path. Salom was rushed to Hospital General de Catalunya, where he died during surgery from injuries sustained in the crash. As a result of his death, the race used the layout normally used by Formula One to reduce speeds in the part of the track where Salom had crashed. Salom's death was the first during a world championship since Italian Premier Class rider Marco Simoncelli's fatal crash at Sepang during the 2011 Shell Advance Malaysian Grand Prix, which was abandoned and declared a non-event by the FIM. The SAG team that Salom had ridden for believed the front of the rider lost control whilst braking over a bump at turn 12. However, telemetry that was provided to MotoGP in an investigation showed that due to a low acceleration at the exit out of turn 11, he had applied the brakes 9 meters later than usual in order to maintain a proper corner speed at turn 12. As a result, he was still on the brakes when he hit an irregularity on the asphalt, as opposed to previous laps where he already had released the brakes on that spot. The stress this produced on the front tire caused a loss of grip over the irregularity, resulting in the crash. During the 2016 FIM MotoGP Awards, it was announced that Salom's number 39, would be retired in the Moto2 class as a tribute. Jason Dupasquier, May 30th, 2021. Jason Dupasquier was a Swiss motorcycle rider who competed in the Moto3 class in the Motorcycle World Championship until his death after a crash during qualifying at the 2021 Italian Motorcycle Grand Prix. He was the son of motocross rider Philippe Dupasquier. On the 29th of May 2021, Dupasquier was involved in a crash with Ayuma Sasaki and Jeremy Alcoba near the end of the day's qualifying session at the Mugello circuit of the Italian Grand Prix in Scarperia. Dupasquier appeared to fall between turns 9 and 10 and was hit by his own motorbike and then by Sasaki's. The session was red flagged immediately. In a later interview, Alcoba stated that he thought he had also run over Dupasquier. FIM, Federation Internazionale de Motorcyclismo, medical intervention vehicles quickly arrived at the site, and the rider was treated on the track for about 30 minutes prior to a medical helicopter arriving and airlifting him to hospital. Dupasquier was taken to Carigi University Hospital in Florence, Italy, where he underwent thoracic surgery for a vascular lesion and was also operated on for brain injury. He died from complications of his injuries on the 30th of May, aged 19, having been declared brain dead and taken off life support in the morning, surrounded by his family and close friends. Dupasquier's team, Prustel GP, announced it would not be taking part in the day's race. Dupasquier's death was the first during a World Championship event since Moto2 rider Louis Salom's fatal crash at Circus de Barcelona, Catalunya during the second practice session of the 2016 Catalan Motorcycle Grand Prix. The MotoGP grid held a 1-minute silence prior to Sunday's Italian Grand Prix. Fabio Quartararo, the current world champion leader in the MotoGP class, won the event and, in his victory lap, paused at Dupasquier's accident site, turn 9 Arrabbiata 2, and pointed to the sky. He also waved the Swiss flag when he arrived at the Parc Fermé. On the 18th of June 2021, his racing number, 50, was retired from the Moto3 class. us. Our thoughts are with the family, friends, and fans of these riders. Feel free to leave a thought in the comments. We hope to see you back for our next video, but until then, take care.